Right. So in the earlier class, we have discussed about carbohydrates. Now, our next food component, our next nutrient is protein. Protein. One second. Right. So next component, next food product, like any food item, if you take the food item has majorly carbohydrates, proteins, fats, vitamins, and minerals. Out of which we have discussed about carbohydrates. Introduction I have given you about carbohydrates. So there is some more different depth of it. I will discuss. You will be learning in higher classes. So now next, what is a component present in our food is protein. Okay. So we'll discuss about it. Proteins. Proteins are the product which are made of it. Same like carbon. Sorry. Is made of it carbon, hydrogen, oxygen. As we discussed, like carbohydrates made of with carbon, hydrogen, oxygen in the ratio of 1:2:1. Now we are going to discuss about proteins. Proteins are made of with carbon, hydrogen, oxygen. Only the difference to the carbohydrates and proteins are proteins components also have another substance called nitrogen. So made of with carbon, hydrogen, oxygen, and nitrogen. As the carbohydrates are of different types, like monosaccharide, disaccharide, oligosaccharide, polysaccharide, proteins are also of different types. It's not the different types, I say. If we discuss glucose, 1 sugar unit, maltose, 2 sugar units. What is the difference? This is simple, this is complex. When you compare with the starch, that is complex. Starch is made with many hundreds of glucose molecules. Right? So what do we have to say now? Starch is carbohydrate, glucose is also carbohydrate. But what is the difference? That is complex one, this is simple one. When we gather here, when we build here, when we collect many glucose, we get complex sugar, starch. Now when we break here, when we break the starch, we'll get a simple glucose unit. Similarly, proteins are also like that. Okay. Now see how this proteins formation is there. We discuss. Proteins are made with simple units of proteins are amino acids. Amino acids. Okay. As a carbohydrate made with glucose, simple units of sugars, proteins are made up with amino acids. They are simple. You can understand now what does it mean simple? And what I am telling simple proteins. Simple proteins means single molecule will be there in it. A single molecule which is made up with carbon, hydrogen, oxygen and nitrogen will be there in it. Amino acids. Amine and plus carboxylic acid will be there. Togetherly it is amino acid. Amine is like with hydrogen and nitrogen. Carboxylic acid is carbon and oxygen and nitrogen will be there. Togetherly we forms amino acids. That is a huge subject you will be learning in chemistry. Forget about it. But just remember that amino acids are of simple proteins. One unit of protein will be there in it. Single unit of protein will be there in it. Amino acids. If these amino acids are gathered, for example, imagine there is an amino acid plus there is another amino acid is equal. What is the resultant product? Yes. Obviously it is 2 amino acids. Right? So now see here, what is it? Amino acid. As I said, simple protein. What is this amino acid? Simple protein. One unit of amino acid and another unit of amino acid togetherly form two units of amino acids. Now what is it called as? As earlier we discussed, one glucose, another glucose forms two glucose, that is maltose. So one glucose monosaccharide, one glucose monosaccharide, two monosaccharides formed, we get disaccharide. Similarly, what we get? One unit of amino acid, one unit of amino acid. We got now two units of amino acids. Now it is said to be peptide. What is it now? Peptide. So now compare what we can understand now. Peptide is made of amino acids. Two amino acids is peptide. Now see, one peptide unit plus another peptide unit. What is the resultant product? Obviously, two peptides. Isn't it? Try to understand this. One amino acid unit, one molecule of amino acid, another molecule of amino acids togetherly formed two molecules of amino acids, which is called peptide. So now compare with this peptide and amino acids. Amino acids are of simple and peptide is complex. Now compare this, one peptide plus another peptide. We got two peptides. Compare with this and this. This is simple. Compared with this is complex. Now try to understand what does it mean by the simple and complex. Simple substances are made of with single units or lesser units than the complex substances. Complex substances are made with many units. That's the difference. So now it is said to be two peptides or more than two peptides. It is said to be a polypeptide. What is it said to be? A polypeptide. Remember polysaccharide. What is polysaccharide? Their oligosaccharide is there. That was you might be confused. It is monosaccharide, disaccharide, polysaccharide. Mono means single sugar units. Disaccharide means two sugar units. More than two sugar units is polysaccharide. Right? To have a better understanding, I have given you one more introduced there, oligosaccharide. Other than that, if otherwise there are only three kinds of saccharides: mono, di, poly. Monoprotein, amino acid. Diprotein, peptide. Polyprotein, polypeptide. Understand? One protein is amino acid unit. Simple protein is amino acid. Complex protein is peptide. More than that, polypeptide. So now what we can understand now? Peptide plus amino acid, one polypeptide is there. Is equal to polypeptide means two or more. Many will be there. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. One peptide. Many peptides are forming here. Then it is said to be protein. It is said to be a protein. So what does it mean? What we can understand? Proteins are made of with polypeptides. Polypeptides are made of with amino acids. Amino acids are simple than polypeptide. Polypeptides are simple as proteins. Peptides are simple as from the proteins. So to avoid the confusion, I will be explaining you once again. Just remember this point. Very important. So what we can understand here, proteins are complex substances. They are made of with peptides. They are made of with peptides. When compare these proteins, peptides are of simple. But now see, peptides are not the basic units. They are often again made of with amino acids. Now, amino acids are of simple when compared with peptides. Amino acids are single unit only. Single molecule, if it is there, it is amino acid. If single molecule made with carbon, hydrogen, oxygen and nitrogen, it is amino acids. If two or more amino acids are gathered, it is peptide. If two or more peptides are gathered, it is protein. So now when compared with the proteins, amino acids are of simple. Proteins are of complex. Right? So now remember the point. The food we eat, what does it have? Have you checked? Have you studied? I asked you to check it out. Make it a note. Send me the report. But I didn't got single report till now. Check the food components. What are written in? Carbohydrates or proteins or amino acids or what are written in it? You find out. Have a Google search. However you are using mobiles now, however you are using internet, search in the Google. Otherwise, very easy to you. We can avoid going outside. Social gathering is not possible right now. So search in the device. Okay, you will be get the information. Potato, what is the food component? What are the nutritive values in it? Rice, what are the nutritive values? Brinjal, what are the nutritive values? Chicken, what are the nutritive values? Mutton, what are the nutritive values? Egg, what are the nutritive values? It will be written carbohydrate, so and so grams, proteins, so and so grams, fats, so and so grams. Okay. So now it will be written proteins. Any food metal if you take, like for example, if you take zoa rotel, there are rich of proteins in it. Pulses, dal, rich of proteins in it. Chicken, rich of proteins. Egg, rich of proteins. Milk, rich of proteins. Proteins are for what? Proteins are used for body growth. Proteins are used for body growth, body repair. Many uses are there. Body growth, body repair. What does it mean? Body repairs are. Is it our workshop to repair the body? Yes, body repairs by proteins. Immune system is made by the proteins. Nowadays you are hearing it. How to avoid the coronavirus? We have to develop immune system in the body. What does it mean? Build proteins in a body. That's what they are suggesting you to eat chicken. Why are they suggesting you to eat chicken? Rich of proteins. Eat egg, rich of protein. Drink milk, rich of proteins. Fresh milk. Okay, cow milk, buffalo milk, rich of proteins. Which are used for the body growth, which builds our body. That proteins are present in egg. Proteins are present in a chicken, but that proteins directly not used for the body growth. No, that should break down because proteins are of complex substances made up with heavy amino acids, many amino acids, hundreds of amino acids. It's a long chain of amino acids. Proteins are made up with long chain of amino acids. That should break down into simple and simple and simple and simple. That is amino acids. These amino acids used for the body growth. Directly they are not present in the food. They are present as in the form of proteins. It means many together. Many amino acids together builds proteins. They are directly not used for the growth of the body. They should first break down. They should first break down into amino acids. So they should complex substances, proteins should be changed into simple. What is this phenomenon is called? Digestion. So converting this complex into simple is digestion. This process takes place in some body organs. Right from mouth, you take egg in the mouth, that you chew the food, you swallow it, its journey starts again. The egg have protein, egg have carbohydrates. Carbohydrate journey starts. Proteins journey starts. Carbohydrates breaks down. Proteins breaks down. How they breaks down? Do we have a grinder in our body? What do we have? How they breaks down? Is that only because of chewing? Is that breaks down into as simple as amino acids? Test. Check it out once. Is that only with the help of teeth it will break down? What happens when we swallow the food? Without chewing, We swallow the food. What happens? Is it not breakdown? Take rice, take some sambaru, chappapu, something, eat and swallow it. Don't try, actually, it's not good for the health. But once or twice you try, swallow it directly. Will it not break down? Is it breakdown happens only in the mouth? Check it out. Okay, but ultimately what we have to understand, any food material that we eat having carbohydrate or having proteins, the carbohydrates are of complex substances should get breakdown into simple as. The proteins are of complex substances that should get break down into as simple as. How they breaks down, how the digestion process changing complex into simple happens, we discuss in the next further classes. Okay, if you have any feedback, you please send to me for the personal number. Okay, I have given you already the various videos. Okay, right, thank you.